In this video, I'm gonna walk you through 3 things to start doing right now so that in 1 to 2 months, life will feel completely different. And the things I'm gonna talk about, they're not like extreme, they're actually kind of straightforward and kind of fun. But once you do these, the trajectory of your life will 100% absolutely change. So if you're up for it, then keep on watching. Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self, live their best life. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. And in case you want more from me besides just my YouTube videos, you can check out my deep dive feminine energy course or any of my other digital products like my Notion templates. They're all linked down below. So these 3 things that we're going to talk about, the reason why they're so powerful and so important, and the reason why they'll completely shift your life is because they lay the foundation for creating the life you want. And what I mean by that is that so many people try to change their life, start new habits, but if that missing foundation is not there, then it's gonna be so hard for those things to actually stick. It's like trying to drive a car to your destination, but the wheels keep falling off, or the engine keeps braking and turning on and off, or the doors fly off. It makes the journey so much harder. But once that foundation of the car is like set, the wheels, the engine, the mechanics, however all that's supposed to work, you can now easily use that car to get to your destination. There's no resistance. Once you nail the foundation, everything else is a lot easier. It feels a lot more effortless. And so these 3 things are gonna cover that foundation piece, but from 3 different angles. So let's just get into it. The first thing to do if you wanna actually create your dream self and your dream life is something called the ideal end state exercise. So this exercise was created by Kevin Dahlstrom, and it's simple and it's fun and it's very enlightening. Okay, so what you do is you take out a piece of paper, or you can use just like the notes app in your phone, or like I have a Notion page for mine, and you write out what your ideal life would look like. So think about, what are the things that you would be doing? What would your life look like? So just list like a bunch of bullet points. So for example, I work for myself on my own time. I get lots of time to read every week. I'm super fit. I play tennis once a week with the girls. I have a big collection of luxury designer handbags. I have a loving husband and kids, and we have a date night once a week and a family night once a week. I can work wherever I want. I can travel whenever I want. I'm confident and secure in myself. My monthly expenses are paid for by passive income or investments. I live in a 5-bedroom house with a big backyard. I have an amazing circle of friends in my city. Whatever you want, whatever you truly desire. And it doesn't matter if there's like superficial things on there. If you want a fancy car, put it on there. If you want 10 vacation homes, put it on there. Now you look at this list and you compare this list to your current self and your current actions. And when you do this, it quickly becomes apparent where there are inconsistencies. He uses this example where if you buy yourself a fancy car, like take for example a Mercedes G-Wagon or something, those are pretty cool. But if a fancy car wasn't on your list, then are your actions really aligning with what you want? You know, you could have put that money into an investment that will eventually give you passive income because that was on your list. Or you could have used that money to even like buy a designer handbag because that was on your list. And so this list, it really helps you identify the actions you're taking because you think you should. I think I should have a fancy car because that's what all the successful people have, versus what you actually desire deep down, which instead might be financial freedom or time freedom or a bunch of Chanel purses. And I think this can also help to ensure that we're focused on those long-term goals and getting those true deep desires that we have, versus, let's say, me buying a new car because it's gonna bring me like a burst of excitement or something like that to my life, right? Like it can kind of help separate like those true deep desires and remind us of what we're really like working for, and cutting out the stuff like a fancy car that might be really fun for like a week, but it's not gonna give you that true sense of fulfillment in the long term. And so now going forward, you get to filter all of your actions, all of your thoughts and beliefs through this list and ask, is it pulling me closer to that dream life, or is it pushing me away? Is that decision to sign up for a gym membership, is that pulling me closer to my dream life, or is it pushing me away? Is my belief that I could never make money on my own, is it pulling me closer to my dream life or pushing me away? Everything that pulls you closer, you do. Everything that pushes you away, you stop. This creates a lot of simplicity and direction in your life, and it really sets that foundation so you know where you're trying to go. And once you have that, it's easier to turn that dream life into reality. Now, the next tip to leveling up is to audit your vibration. And maybe that sounds a little weird, but trust me, this is one of the most important things that you can do. We all know from the law of attraction that like attracts like, and we manifest what we want by tuning into the frequency, the energy, the vibration, the feeling of how you want to feel. So then we can attract in a reality to match that. And so we can fully become that person. But the feeling or the vibration comes first. That's how you bring that into your life. If we want wealth, we need to feel abundant first. If we want love, we need to feel love within ourselves first. Your vibe is the single biggest determining factor in the life you create and the person you become. And so here's the thing, when you're operating from a high vibe place, when you're feeling good, things just seem to work. Have you noticed that? Things just seem to feel easier. Things just seem to happen with less force. You start attracting in opportunities. You start attracting the right people. Your mind expands. You're more creative. You're better able to find solutions to problems. Think about it. When your vibe is high and you're feeling good, when you know that you need to work out today because being fit and healthy is a part of your dream self and your dream life. When you're feeling good, the task of working out feels like, yeah, let's do it. Maybe there's this feeling of it being a challenge still, but it's almost like an exciting challenge. But when you're feeling grumpy and blah and low vibe, that's when you're like, ugh, I don't want to do it. It feels too hard. Maybe I should skip it. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip it and eat candy on the couch. The short of it is that when you are happy, joyful, in a good mood, this elevated vibration, it changes everything. Your entire perception of reality changes. You yourself change. Your decision-making changes. Your thoughts change. Your beliefs about yourself change. You don't have to work so hard at becoming your dream self or creating your dream life. It just starts to happen. Please hear me when I say that it just starts to happen. When you have good energy, you start naturally saying yes to the things that elevate your life, and you start naturally saying no to the things that don't. When you're high vibe, all of a sudden, you start working and making progress on that business that you've told all your friends that you've wanted to start for like 5 years. Or when you're feeling good, all of a sudden, men start coming out of the woodworks asking you on dates. One of the most important keys to leveling up is leveling up your vibe first, because everything will follow after that. So that is why auditing your vibration is so crucial. You have to become the master of your energy. For example, you notice that when you scroll on your phone for 2 hours, it doesn't actually make you feel that great. It kind of drains your energy. It kind of sinks you. Noted. You notice that when you sit out in the sun for 10 minutes, you're happier, your vibe is higher. Noted. You notice that when you put on a cute outfit in the morning, you just feel so good, kind of unstoppable. Noted. Or you notice when you start thinking a certain negative thought, you feel slow and blah again. Noted. You notice when you wake up and play happy music, you feel good. Noted. Your biggest, most important job is to be the master of your energy, your vibe, and get yourself feeling good. Note the things that drain you and make you feel low, and note the things that elevate you and make you feel like life is magical. All the things you're doing and the action you're taking, the thoughts that you're thinking, the beliefs and the stories that you tell yourself, the people you spend time with, the content you're consuming, the TV shows you're watching, the music you're listening to. Okay, and crank up the dial on the things that elevate your vibe and minimize it to the best of your ability on the things that lower it. That is your job. And when you do that, everything will start to fall into place. The perfect tiny little example of this playing out in my life just happened yesterday. Okay, so I was taking my sweet dog Piper on a little nature walk, and we had to drive like 30 minutes to get there. And we went on our walk and it was wonderful, and we were driving back together. And I always like to listen to a podcast in the car. It's just something that usually makes me happy, some sort of educational podcast. Usually it elevates my vibe. Usually it inspires me and makes me happy. So I put on this podcast and started driving home, and I noticed that like 5 minutes into listening to this podcast, I just started feeling like heavier, you know, like my energy was just being drained from me. I noticed that listening to this podcast wasn't elevating me. And so I switched to Sabrina Carpenter's new album, which I'm obsessed with, by the way, and jammed all the way home to that. And that little change, it made me feel good. It made me feel happier and spunkier, and it elevated my vibe a little bit. And then because I felt good by the time I got home, I was like, you know what? Let's just do a quick strength workout. Why not? And so then I did that workout, which elevated my vibe even more. And then I had to get some work done before dinner. So I went and sat at my desk to work, and because I was feeling so good, because I was feeling so high vibe, my work was just so effortless and felt like so much fun. And then because I had a good day, because I felt accomplished in my day, and because I was feeling good when my husband came home from work, I was the version of me that's like that sweet, loving, warm wife to come home to. An elevated vibe instantly transforms you into an elevated version of yourself and starts creating an elevated reality. So it was me noticing my vibe was shifting from something as little like listening to a podcast and being proactive about doing something to turn it around. And then once I did, everything was fun and easy and productive after that. Everything just kind of flowed. Now, I'm not saying that you need to like force yourself to be happy all the time. And of course, there's gonna be moments in our life where our emotions are just gonna feel heavier and we're just gonna feel lower. But just reach for the best feeling thought and the best feeling that you can embody. Maybe that best feeling thought is not ultimate bliss and happiness. Maybe it's just acceptance. Or maybe that best feeling thought is not super happy, yay. It's just feeling 1%, 5% hopeful or optimistic. Your vibration or your energy, it's one of those foundational pieces. So you can either try to push yourself and force yourself and fight against yourself to be better, or you can just elevate your vibe, have fun with it, and watch everything flow in effortlessly. And if you doubt me, try it. Now, I know this is all easier said than done, but don't overthink it and don't overcomplicate it. Turn up the dial on the things that elevate you, make you high vibe, and try to minimize as much as possible the things that drain you and lower your vibe. And even like a 10% change in your energy or your vibe, it'll create massive changes in your life. And lastly, you will level up and in rapid time when you allow yourself to change the way you see yourself. Here's the thing, is that over time, over the years, we've all come to see ourselves in a certain way, right? We have all developed a certain identity about ourselves. But as long as we continue to keep seeing ourselves in that same kind of way, then nothing will ever change. Maybe you were always really lazy in the past, but if you continue to keep seeing yourself as just a lazy person, you're gonna keep acting in accordance with that because that's who you keep telling yourself you are. Maybe you have been really out of shape for like the past 7 years, but if you continue to keep seeing yourself as that kind of person, you know, someone who's unhealthy and out of shape and someone who hates working out, subconsciously, you're gonna keep living your life in a way to confirm that identity because behavior always follows identity and you become who you believe that you are, and you will never go farther than the limits of the person you see yourself as. Therefore, the way you see yourself needs to change so that you can actually change. If you want to level up, change the way you see yourself first. Most people try to do it the other way around, where they try to force themselves to start these new habits that go against the beliefs they have about themselves, so that hopefully, eventually, after months and months of this, they can fully become that new person and see themselves as that new person. It's like if you're someone who's addicted to alcohol, but wants to stop drinking for good. If you see yourself as someone who's addicted to alcohol, those habits of no longer drinking alcohol, do you see how they are no longer aligned? It's not congruent, and this creates a lot of discomfort. Whereas if you decide to change your identity first, you decide, I'm not a drinker. That's just not who I am. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, all of a sudden that habit of no longer drinking, it feels more aligned. If you allow that identity piece to change first, your behavior will naturally start to align. If you want to start going to Pilates 3 times a week, that's really important to you. If you want to get really fit, that's a part of your dream self. You're not just someone who's trying to exercise a bit more. No. You now choose to see yourself as a Pilates girl. If you want to build a successful business, you're not someone with a little side hobby that makes a few bucks here and there. No. You are a business owner. Can you see how these shifts in identity all of a sudden make it feel so much different? Once you shift the identity piece, the showing up part kind of feels a little more natural. And it makes it so those changes that you want to see, they start becoming real. You start taking the action you need to because behavior follows identity. Because what do Pilates girls do? They go to Pilates. What do business owners do? They show up consistently for their business and they make real money, not just a few bucks here and there. See how that shift in identity naturally makes it become more real and almost turns on that part of you? Identity is everything. So drop the labels that are holding you back and pick up the ones you want. If you don't want to be shy anymore, stop saying it. Stop saying that you are a shy person. Stop saying, oh, I'm so shy, but I'm trying to be a more outgoing person. No, you are just no longer a shy person. That is just no longer a part of your self-description. Instead, it might be, I'm someone who's comfortable being myself, and if I am ever quiet, it's just because I'm so content being me. Now, shifting your identity, this might sound like some wildly delusional thing, but it's not, and it's not as hard as you think. But if this feels completely overwhelming to you, you don't know where to start, or you want more guidance, I have a full video here on how to shift your identity, and it's so informative, and I promise you that you're going to get something valuable from this video. So that is it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you. As always, let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. But besides that, I'll see you over there, or I'll just see you next time in my next video. Bye.